About how many referrals do you think you get?
You're asking, okay, so wow, we could have a whole conversation on this for hours.
Yeah.
I am a referral nut. One of the guys that I met that's now in his 80s, loved him. He said, every time you don't ask for a referral, you're giving $10,000 away.
Woo.
That interesting.
Dang. If we looked at it like that.
If we looked at it like that, you would ask every time. So there is never a conversation I have with one of my clients, never a conversation I have with one of my clients that's ended in a good, like we're having a good conversation. I've helped them resolve questions. I always say, hey, Cody, I appreciate you working with me. I hope I always bring value. The way I stay in business is by the people you know coming on board. So if someone you know has problems, concerns, questions, you know how I take care of you, would you please refer them to me? I haven't had to buy a lead for myself in over 10 years.
Wow.
Everything I generate is referral business from that
referrals.
one question at the end of every conversation.
What is up? Welcome back to the CA Power Player Podcast. I'm your host, Cody Askins. And man, not only are we in studio, which you guys know I love. I say that every single time when I've got somebody here. But I've got somebody that I've been getting to know. We were on a webinar together. I was impressed with his material. He loves training and helping agents. He's been in the business for 18 years. Phenomenal at producing and managing. His company is the Kerksiek Group. They've got over 2,000 clients. He's still managing about 800 of his own clients, 25 to 30 agents, right, that are actively selling, which is really cool. And so we're going to get into a bunch today. It's going to be an amazing, fun episode. Please welcome, for the first time, Mr. John Kerksiek.
Well, thanks, Cody. Good to meet you again, right?
Yes, finally in person.
That's right.
I think it was all virtual before.
It was. Cool. Yep, all virtual for us.
I love it, man. Traveling in from St. George, Utah.
Correct, yeah. Right there by Zion National Park.
Yeah, man, that's amazing.
Yeah.
What do you think of Missouri so far? Had you been?
I've been, several times before. Love the Ozarks. Love Springfield. So love this area. It's cool. Great fishing, I guess, right?
Yeah. It's good. I'm sure you'll have that a lot in your area too. But
we do.
Fishing, hunting. All the things, you know.
Yeah, so
it's cool.
But great to be here.
Yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate you being here. You've been in the business 18 years.
Yeah, wow, that's amazing to me. When you stop and think about it, I'm like, that's
What have you? What was it like when you started, and how has it changed? And what hasn't changed, maybe?
That's a good question, because I started right before like that big crash happened in 2008, right? So in like 2006, 2007 was when I kind of got my feet wet in this. And so everybody was on this real big high, economy's doing great. And then all of a sudden, bam, everything.
Wow.
So it was a real big change. Like we really had to learn how to start over again.
What were you selling at the time?
I was selling supplemental insurance at the time, right?
To businesses?
Yeah, small businesses primarily. And so we saw a huge, that was a big crush for them, right?
Dang.
So it was a great time to learn how to have to pivot. Yeah. And we've continually had to pivot for the last, 18 years. So it was a good experience. Then I didn't think so. Now I look back on it, I'm like, it was great.
Yeah. It's interesting, because you would think it's like you're in the business, and then you're doing a certain product that it's hard to get in front of businesses about, with what's going on. And it's probably one of the first things businesses start to cut, unfortunately, potentially. But then you're going in like, oh my gosh, how is this going to affect my career? And then obviously there's been other things along the way, but you started out doing that. Obviously now focus more on senior market.
Yeah, so that and a lot of the ACA too, right? So that was an interesting thing. I remember back when I first started, Cody, one of the things I said to my wife was, I don't know how I'm going to stay in the insurance industry, but this is where I'm going to retire. So I made a commitment right there that I was going to do whatever it took to stay in the industry. I really liked the idea of residual income.
Absolutely.
I've sold my whole life. I started selling when I was 15 years old.
Wow. What'd you sell then?
Oh gosh, I sold tires when I first started, right? Working at a gas station. Yeah. So that was the first stuff I sold. But a long way I've peddled just about anything from cars to jewelry. But I was like, I really like the residual, and I think I'm going to stay with this. So in about 2011, I'd been struggling in the supplemental business. It was a really, really hard gig to get into the businesses to do it. Lots of steps. And along came Obamacare, or, the Affordable Care Act, right?
Yep.
And so
what year was that?
That was 2012 where we really started getting involved in that, right? And so we were kind of ramping up in 11, and I was just really on the ground floor of that, and that was a great experience to transition. And so my FMO, Ty Brady. You
love Ty,
know,
man.
right?
He's amazing.
So anyway, Ty and I had been friends for a long time. He actually worked with me when he first started in the supplemental a little bit. So
wow.
So anyway, we'd kept in contact, and I was sending him referrals for the people that were wanting the senior market stuff, and so it was an interesting thing when he's like, hey, why don't you start selling senior benefits too? So I first kind of transitioned to the Affordable Care Act, the ACA, and then over to Medicare. It was a really easy transition to add both of them at the same time.
Yeah, I've actually heard that quite a bit. A lot of Medicare agents end up doing ACA, or a lot of ACA end up doing Medicare. Like I've seen that quite a bit.
Yeah.
Why is that? Because you think about it, one's 64 plus, one's under 65.
Well, the reason it happens so often is that if you've got someone that's in their 50s and you've kept them for that decade, and they're just going to naturally roll with you as they get to their Medicare. So that's one example. The other thing that happens a lot is that you'll get the couple that he's going off of his employer insurance, and they don't really know what to do with the wife. And so you're going to pick them up on the Medicare side and the ACA side.
Because he's going off, which means she loses it too.
Correct. And so you kind of have this hand in
interesting
and glove thing, right? She needs something, he's going to go to Medicare. So you end up picking her up on the ACA side and him on the Medicare, and that works out really well. Like couples really like when you're taking care of both of them at the same time.
Absolutely. Have you done some life insurance?
I have, quite a bit of it. Yeah,
good.
So
more final expense.
The other stuff I really like, kids seem to like it, is that return of premium type stuff for the younger guys, right? A 30-year return of premium. They seem to like that quite a bit. It resonates with them. The older people that are looking at final expense, just, unfortunately, they're usually a little lower income because they haven't really planned life, and all of a sudden it's kind of hit them in the face that we're going to have to deal with it. So, so both those groups do pretty well with it, yeah.
Okay. What would you say to an agent out there that's solid at life, but in Medicare intrigues them?
I love that. That person to me is really good because they've already got their feet underneath of them of knowing how to work through the problems, the questions, and getting solutions. And on the Medicare side, it's just such an easy, I don't know, it's like having multiple, arrows in that quiver, right?
Yeah.
So many times we've walked into a door and we're intending to take care of somebody on a life insurance. That's right. Or the reverse, we're going to take care of them on the Medicare. And granted, there's some dynamics that we have to work through on that. But in the end, we find out that because we have those different tools, now we really get to be the answer to a lot of different questions that they may be posing. So it just gives you the freedom to really be flexible for what your client wants instead of just being a one-trick pony.
Yeah. How often do you find money for annuity potential along the way?
Annuities are an interesting thing. Those would probably be more of your clients that you've had for a while, right?
Got it.
And now they may have already done it. I've had some that are like, you know what, I've just dealt with my own financial stuff, and now they're getting ready to retire, and they may need to change some of the annuities, some of their other investment portfolios into annuities. Yep. That's a great option for those. Referrals, I'll tell you, that's where referrals really come into play, right? Is that kind of individual who may be a little, unsure of who to trust with that kind of important detail. And so if you've got other clients that you've been working with, that's a great referral source, is the annuity type stuff, in my opinion.
Yeah. Okay, so you mentioned referrals. How often, that's why I think a lot of people love the Medicare business too, is it's so easy to get referrals. How many referrals, you've been doing Medicare for how long? You've been in business 18 years.
Yeah, so I've been doing Medicare for about 10 years.
Okay.
10 years now is what we've been doing Medicare.
ACA similar?
About 12 years for that one.
Oh, that's right. That's right. For Medicare, about how many referrals do you think you get?
You're asking, okay, so wow, we could have a whole conversation on this for hours.
Yeah.
I am a referral nut. One of the guys that I met that's now in his 80s, loved him. He said, every time you don't ask for a referral, you're giving $10,000 away.
Woo.
Isn't that interesting?
Dang. If we looked at it like that.
If we looked at it like that, you would ask every time. So there is never a conversation I have with one of my clients, never a conversation I have with one of my clients that's ended in a good, like we're having a good conversation. I've helped them resolve questions. I always say, hey, Cody, I appreciate you working with me. I hope I always bring value. The way I stay in business is by the people you know coming on board. So if someone you know has problems, concerns, questions, you know how I take care of you, would you please refer them to me? I haven't had to buy a lead for myself in over 10 years.
Wow.
Everything I generate is referral business from that
referrals.
One question at the end of every conversation.
That's insane. And how often do you get one right then?
You know, that's probably 20% of the time.
Okay.
They'll be like, oh, my son or my daughter. But I'm amazed at, because if you get that bug in their ear, it's that drip system, right? You're talking to them regularly. They're calling you to what's my premium? What's this problem? Anytime you're resolving questions with them, if you just put that bug in their ear, you know, I had one today. From last night to today, I've already had 2 referrals.
Wow.
One that's going to be transitioning she needs ACA, but she's going to be going into Medicare in 2 years.
Cool.
And the other one is a young man who just lost his job. And so referrals are a constant everyday thing now. And the people that work with me quickly learn that that's my bread and butter. That's where I really learned to do it. But that's me. And some people may not have that desire. They may like knocking doors, or they may like making phone calls. So I don't try to say, hey, you have to do it my way. But I found great success. It's really easy to deal with referrals, right?
I totally agree. How do you help someone that is maybe new to the business succeed and but also get more referrals? Because a lot of them don't get, maybe they do get some, but I would say a lot don't get many initially.
Well, the biggest thing that you need to probably do is it's another learned trait, right? It's just like going to the gym. Like you've got to go start. Not that I go to the gym that often, but
Sure.
but you got to go to the gym.
Yes.
And so, gosh, I get a drink real fast.
Some Liquid Death. They're not a sponsor, by the way, but you know.
No, but we appreciate it. So anyway, the thing that we probably are going to start with is smaller networking groups. They've got to start building that kind of referral source, and that is something that they're probably not comfortable with.
Most are not in those groups. What type of groups? Let's dive into that a little more.
So you're going to have your community groups, right? You're going to have like your Lions clubs, or maybe your Moose organizations, or your lodges, different things like that. You're going to have city councils or city community groups that we can get you involved in. Across the nation, there's business networking groups, like BNI is a great one, right? That we can just drop real fast. Yep. Not that we're associated with BNI, but one of those groups. Different areas have different types of those type of networking. So we kind of have to look into.
I've heard of masterminds of business.
Yep, masterminds. Yeah, another great one, right? And some of those, like if you haven't done it, that may not be where you want to start in a mastermind group, right? Or a BNI group. But we want you to cut your teeth and start learning how to do that. Also going into partners that do the same type of stuff. So like if we're talking annuities, maybe we're talking to an accountant, right? Or, and so
elder law attorney.
Yep. And so we've got those different type of partners that we have to. So it takes a little time to build that referral group. And by the way, that's just circling back to your life guy. That's why I like them, right? They're already making money in the life insurance. And so now they have the time to go out and build that networking group. But I'm telling you, once you build that, man, it's powerful to deal with those kind of groups. So,
yeah, I've heard some people even start their own networking group.
Yeah.
For like a breakfast once a week and add some people, one of the gentlemen in office across the hall literally does that Thursdays at 7, something like that.
But as you get going and you get more comfortable with it, I'm telling you, your clients are 100% the best referral source you can have.
Yeah.
Bar none. There's no group I've ever been part of that will outperform my clients.
Wow. How many referrals do you think you get? Hypothetically, maybe an impossible number to know. Maybe you track it. I don't know. You said you're referral nut, so we'll find out. How many referrals do you think you get a year?
You want a year?
Sure.
So we're probably getting 150 to 200 referrals at least a year.
Wow. And how many of those end up becoming clients?
I would say at least 70% of them come clients. That's why my numbers have been able to maintain, right? And again, there's always, some attrition, right? Some people are going to get jobs. Some people are going to, unfortunately, pass away. So, in our industry, you're going to have things happen. And so if you don't have that kind of number, it's hard to maintain a big book without having that referral base to keep filling where things fall off.
So and you're literally saying every time, this is how I stay in business.
Every time. Yeah. Yeah. I have an associate now that works very closely with me every day. And she's like, I am amazed after you have shown me this for over a year and a half. I don't know how, like I've heard, and we've worked together for over 15 years and I've been preaching it the whole time until she really was hooked to my hip for over a year. She was like, I always thought you were just kind of full of it.
Some people are maybe wondering that, right?
Right. I mean, it just seems like, but I'm telling you that
I can feel by your level of certainty and passion and like, how you lit up when we started talking about this topic specifically, which is why I've stayed on this topic and because it's really valuable for our audience that you actually do this and you believe in it.
Absolutely. And I think that you get a better client from it, right? There's already a level of trust there because you've been helping somebody else that they know. And so you're already overcoming probably 80% of the problems we have of trust in our industry.
Yes. So what we've kind of talked about really so far is like you've got your like if we're thinking about like creating like this referral system that can feed you 150 to 200 referrals a year, right? Whatever the number is, 100 plus, et cetera. You've really talked about almost four categories, maybe a little bit smaller networking groups.
Yep.
Lions Club, the BNIs, et cetera, masterminds, business, et cetera, smaller networking groups. The city stuff, like you said, the city groups, or there's like Chamber of Commerce or different things, or just being involved in the city and the community.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. I mean, you could be involved in any of the little leagues or the baseball,
Yes.
The city ball programs. So.
Yep. Partners, right? We could create referral partners.
Yep.
I've always heard about that being a very successful strategy a lot of people use, especially if you do Medicare. I could imagine P&C agents would be good referral partners because they don't normally do Medicare.
No, and I have several of those, right? I get several of those. So all that referral just keeps growing.
It's killer.
Yeah.
Okay, so partners and then clients.
Yeah.
Right? So you've got, obviously, that's probably from what you said, the biggest of the four so far.
It is. Once you get there,
it's
kind of like catching that wave. But once you get there, man, wow, it's magical.
How long does it take, you think, to get there if you're brand new to where where a bulk of your business, at least a big percentage, is coming from client referrals?
Boy, if I had a crystal, we'd have everybody making money if that was the case, right? So, unfortunately, the biggest thing is that's going to be based on your personality. So later today, we're going to maybe talk a little bit more about that and some of my other stuff. I'm a huge Kung Fu Panda fan.
Nice.
And one of the things I like, and we'll get deeper into that, is there's no secret ingredient in the secret ingredient soup. And so when you ask me that question, it's going to depend on like how social are you?
Yeah.
If social's not your thing, if you don't like just going up to people and saying, "Hey, how are you?" This is going to be it's going to be like weightlifting. That's why I use the gym analogy.
Yeah.
Some guys go into the gym and man, immediately it's just their jam, right?
Yeah.
And others go in and it's going to be a little bit harder. And so the nice thing about all this is it really comes down to your personality and what fits you. So
absolutely.
Someone that's really outgoing and is like, man, I can do that. This could be I've got young guys that start in their 20s or in their 30s, and within 5 years, like it's all referral.
Wow.
And they're making a nice 6-figure income, watching their kids grow.
That's cool.
So
an age like that.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
Yeah. And they did it, right? It's not me. So that's another thing. Like, you're the one that's kind of responsible for your fate.
Yes.
So can it happen fast? Sure. If it's your personality and it's your jam, great. But the nice thing is, if it's not, if you're a little more reserved, like, time isn't an enemy to us. We have all the time in the world, right?
That's right.
And so if it takes you 10 years to do what someone did in 5, guess what? 10 years, you're still happy.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's, it's going to be like if you're that guy that's like, I'm not, a little reserved, I want to do this, but I'm not really sure. I'm going to hit the ground running. Dude, come, do it. You're still going to find great happiness at the end of the rainbow.
Absolutely. And everyone is unique and different.
Yeah.
Like, no one is doing the exact same thing all the time, especially in the Medicare business. There's a lot of ways to succeed and get in front of people.
Yeah, absolutely. Right.
Also, I feel like one of the things too is the service aspect. So you talked about like how social are you, what's your personality. I feel like how well you help someone, service them, frequent you keep in contact with them, touches throughout the year, some of the things you mentioned earlier, that's also going to affect whether you get referrals or not.
Yeah, and I think it's a simple one, but if you put everybody's name and how like a recognizable thing in your phone, whether it's Cody's sister or Cody's cousin, right? And you put those kind of little tells in there. You may not be the one that always remembers everything, but when you pick up the phone, you're like, "Hey, Cody, how are you? How's your sister?" Right? Those little things make a big difference to people going, and they know who I am.
Yeah,
I'm important to them.
When you're managing 800.
Yeah.
You have probably a lot of like details about a lot of them.
Yeah, and lucky for me, I mean, God-given talent, I'm blessed with it. I had a call the other day from a guy named Tyler. Tyler's like, "John, you may not remember me." And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, you're Native American. You worked here. You lived there. We've had insurance. Like, it's probably been 5 years since you've talked to me." And he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Well, I need it again." And he's like, "I'm so glad you remember who I am."
Oh, my goodness, man. You really remembered all of that, and it wasn't in your phone.
No.
That's amazing.
So again, just depending on who you are, sometimes you're blessed with different traits. But if you're not, there's ways to put that kind of information in your phone so you could quickly look it up and go, "Oh, yeah, I know who you are." But people love when they feel like, well, and we all do, right? I'm important to you. It was nice for me when we haven't touched in a year, and you're like, "You look familiar." We reconnected, right?
Yeah,
I was like, yeah. So
that's true. That's cool. Yeah, it's also people's favorite word is their name, and I used to have this thing, and I've heard this before, where it's like I try to use someone's name, especially if it's like I'm calling a lead as an example. I try to use their name early in a phone call as much as I can. There's just something about that, like, and remembering people like to feel appreciated, celebrated, remembered, valued. And so, when you're talking through some of that, it makes a lot of sense that you're like trying to go out of your way to actually remember certain things about your clients.
Yeah, it makes a huge difference. It really does. So, you can put all the systems in place you want to send birthday cards and stuff. But if you have that opportunity while you're on the phone with them to say their name, recall something about them, it definitely makes a strong impact on them.
That's a great nugget. I hope you guys are taking notes today, by the way. That's a great freaking nugget. What about some of those other things? You mentioned birthday cards. What are some other things like that you feel like you've made a difference from a service standpoint, referral standpoint, a retention standpoint, that maybe agents are not doing or they should be doing?
One of the things that's interesting about that is that I look at it and I think every year prices change. Right?
Yeah.
And that's a key point to people. And so if you can be ahead of that for them, we send out a letter saying, "Hey, it's that time of year. We know the prices are changing for you. We know this is going to be concerning to you. Breathe easy. We're here to assist you." Just as stuff comes in, as people start to hit you with a million phone calls, a million,
ads, whatever,
everything.
Pieces of mail.
Just sit back and relax because you're in good hands, right? And so we send that out preemptive, just to let them know, okay, that's right. It's that time of year. Because I think they kind of forget, and all of a sudden they're like, oh no, I got to take care of this, right? So if you could hit them in September with kind of a relax, take it easy, don't let all the hype get you. We're here to take care of you.
That's good.
Right? Yeah. That's an important one. They love their birthday, like recognize them, that kind of stuff. But every year they're going to have that hot point, right? And we know that.
Some get some serious, get anxious about it, man.
Oh, well, how could you not? I mean, this last year, I don't know about the other people, but for me, I had clients saying, "I'm getting 10 calls a day."
Wow. And it's crazy because a lot of people don't know this. The average human sees about 8,000 ads a day. From everything, I mean, this, that, this, like, you know what I mean? Just your shirt, my shirt. Like, I wonder how many of those during Medicare season are Medicare related.
Yeah, right.
I can't even imagine.
Yeah. And so so anyway, giving them some ease right before is helpful.
Giving them some ease. I love that. That's really good feedback. Anything else we're missing? This has been incredible, by the way.
I appreciate it. No.
Referral piece, phenomenal referral system, a ton of nuggets there. You even gave out literally what you say word for word. Practice some of that. I don't know why you wouldn't add that to every appointment.
I don't either. It shocks me more. Don't. I just remember, every time you don't, you give up $10,000.
Because then people are going to say, "Wow, I don't make that much when I make a sale." Yeah, but they may send 10 people.
I have one family out of that family that I was shooting archery with a cousin. She gave me both of her cousins' brothers. Both of them gave me all of their children, 4 children each side. Those 4 children have given me their in-laws.
Oh my gosh.
Like it just continues to grow. And then their friends. Like if I went through that one family from one person, I probably have over 40 people in my organization that are clients of mine, personal clients of mine from one person.
That's a heck of a lot more than 10 grand a year.
Absolutely.
And a heck of a lot more than 10 grand over the course of
their lives. Yeah. Like I'm getting from those 2 brothers, I got grandchildren now.
That's amazing.
So when I'm passionate about it, I'm like, yeah, there's a reason that you get passionate about this.
Yeah.
If you catch, and again, that's one of those things that takes a little time, right? You got to see the long-term picture of that and start doing it. But even if you have 10 clients, I guarantee you're going to have 1 or 2 come from that, and you're going to go, hey, this works. And if you just keep building on that, as you're growing your business, those numbers are going to come.
It's awesome. Well, thanks for all you do, and thank you for
thanks for the time
being here, and glad you were on the podcast. Yeah, thanks, buddy.
Appreciate it.
If they want to get in touch with you, what do they do? Where do they go? I think you gave me your. Is it okay if we share your business?
Yeah, go right ahead. Yeah, do that right now.
Okay,
so phone number is
435, and you can text, call.
Yeah, either one. Yep.
Okay, 435-940-4224.
That's correct. Yeah.
435-940-4224. I love it when people give out their phone numbers, because my audience, like I'm telling you guys, like they like asking questions and getting help, and we get about I don't know, Dylan or Keith could look, but we get about 420,000 plus insurance agents a month that view something on our YouTube channel, something. And the staggering statistic of the amount that just need help is incredibly high. And so when we can find people who care about people, who love the business, who are passionate, and they show it, and they're willing to actually receive some text and calls to help some people, it's really cool. Thank you.
Oh, I appreciate it. And just sidebar on that.
Please.
I think the number may be a little skewed, but a lot of people give emails, but I think like only 20% of emails are actually checked because we get so much of that. It's almost become regular mail. Texts are more like 80%. So you're going to get a lot more people that actually respond. So feel free. Yeah, absolutely. Text me, call me. Happy to answer questions.
Smart. You're right about that stat. And also thank you guys for hanging and listening to us and being with John and I today on today's podcast. Here's what I'm curious of. Okay. There's been a lot. I would love to know, just in comments below, if you are asking for referrals every time, make sure people know about it, or do you feel like that is an area you could grow in? And just be honest. And John and I will look at the comments and see what we see, right? Thanks for hanging with us on the Power Player Podcast. We'll see you on the next one. Kaboom.